Alright, in this video we're going to be talking about how to sync different kind of fields like text fields, text areas, and combo boxes to each other. So when you type in one, it automatically updates the other, or you click a drop-down box, it updates the other drop-down boxes. First thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to go to my admin panel of my web template. For me, I'll just go to 127.0.0.1 app template admin and type in password. That's my default password. And under documentation, you'll actually see the sync inputs optional here because you don't have to use this in your code, but it comes in handy for quite a few applications. For example, let's say you have a customer name you want somebody to fill out, but somewhere else in your application you also have customer name. And you're using the style I actually talk about under documentation, application design, and interface. I talk about loading all the interface components to memory, so you're just turning them on and off as the user is using your interface. So you're never actually loading a page, a page is just being shown. And that's what the sync input system is all about. You have to use that style of loading your interfaces. Right here I have just kind of an example where I'll type in something into that field and click away, and you'll see it automatically updates here. So in your application you have that customer name on one page and have customer name on another page. User fills out one page but doesn't fill out the other. Typically you'd have to write a lot of code to say, okay, every time they update this one, make sure we update the other customer names in the other pages. That way we can pull from any customer name field and get our value when we need to. And vice versa, of course. But with my system, you really don't have to write any code. All you have to do is give every input type a certain class name, which I'll show you in real time how to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and first thing, I'm going to go to configuration application settings, and I'm going to actually change mine over to use interface instead of login startup. This is not part of the sync input system. I'm just doing it so I can quickly refresh the page and show you the code changes I made. So let's go ahead and save that. And I'm going to go ahead and start my application. Because I'm going to code right here in this demo file interface I already have and show you it working in real time. So let's go ahead and go to my web server. I'm going to go in my template folder, go to interface, and find that demo.php file. So right here below the demo interface file title, I'm going to go ahead and create some inputs. So input type equals text. And I'll go ahead and copy that line and paste it a couple more times. So if we go back to our interface and refresh, you'll see those three new text inputs right here. If I type in one and click away, nothing happens. Same thing the other one and the other one. So we haven't synced them yet, so let's go ahead and do that in the code. So all I have to do is give the inputs a same class, but the class has to start with a special word, and that is sync, S-Y-N-C underscore. And then for the prefix, you give it whatever descriptor name you want to give that object. For example, I was talking about customer's name, so let's use customer's name. I'll go ahead and copy that class into the other text fields, save it, and we'll go back to our interface refresh. Now if I type in that first one and click away, you'll notice all three of these updated just like that. Now the reason I say you have to click away, because the change event typically in most browsers occurs when you lose focus of an area. So just typing into the area isn't enough. I actually have to click away or hit tab or hit enter or something like that to actually lose focus of that area. But it's working just fine. And the same thing goes for text areas. In the demo page, actually I already have these set up. You can see here's a text area, and we can type in a lot of paragraph text and click away, and it automatically updated into that one also. Same thing with the boxes here. Basically anything that uses the value the value property to store the value, this technique will work in. Now one thing to note, and the documentation under admin tools talks about this, there again, is you have to be using the application design I talk about here, where you're loading all your interface components into memory. If they're not loaded into memory, you can't sync something that isn't loaded. Just remember that. And that's it for this video. Hope you enjoy this tool, and happy coding.